Hello everyone, we welcome you all to today's very special edition where the nation and the world at large commemorates the birth anniversary of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, also known as Mahatma Gandhi. He was a lawyer, an anti-colonial activist, a political ethicist, and the pioneer of non-violence. We are here today to talk about Gandhian ideals and the relevance of it today, especially on today's youth. And to do that, we have in our midst Mr. Rhythm Das, who's also a gold medalist in MA Philosophy. And we also have Fulling Star Kongsini, who will be having a talk with us on the ideals of Gandhi and its relevance on today's youth. We welcome you both to today's program, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. Before we start off, maybe to the Gandhian ideals, maybe Rhythm, we can start with you, as we know that you've done a paper, a research paper on Gandhi. Maybe for our viewers, you can share a little bit of what the paper is all about, what the research is all about.
Sure. You mentioned that Gandhi, in the list of labels that you used to define Gandhi, one of the terms that you used was political ethicist. Now, I think that's a good clue to begin describing what I have researched upon.
Okay.
Usually when we talk about, ethical politics, we understand the word to mean something like power dynamics. So political power could be given or could be, distributed to parties that are not essentially ethical. So there could be worlds, and there were actually monarchies in ancient medieval times, where classic examples of power being vested upon, entities that were not necessarily following ethics.
True.
So one might ask, what does it mean when we say the word that Gandhi was a political ethicist or an ethical political activist? I think it means that in a social hierarchy, in a hierarchy of power distribution, Gandhi emphasized that the thing that you have to put at the very top has to be not a monarch, like the case was with the British, or with a controlling colonial state, but instead it has to be put into something called truth. Now, what is this truth? I mean, when you say that, when Gandhi says that you have to be truthful, you have to follow the path of the truth, that divulges into different kind of, branching philosophies. So from his ideal of putting truth at the top of the political social structure, we get derivative philosophies like Sarvodaya, like non-violence, all of which are instantiations of putting truth at the top. And this truth, the nature of this truth, what is it? What do we do with it? Where do we find it? Do we find it after waking up in the morning? Do we find it in the war grounds? Do we find it in the activism that we see in the youth today? I think forms the primary question, which I have tried to tackle in my book.
True. Just like you said, I think Gandhi had a very beautiful ideology when it comes to politics as well. And we'll move on to you, Fulling. Like Rhythm said, Gandhi kept truth at the highest level, so to say, throughout his lifetime. And two of his ideologies that are really centered in his life, one was Satya, the truth, and second was non-violence, ahimsa.
Yes.
So whereas when we talk about the youths of today, we see that there are so many scammers today, there are so many fraudsters, and we see situations are not tackled with peace. Rather, it has always been a situation where it escalates through violence. So what is your opinion on that?
Well, we have been looking at Mahatma Gandhi as the father of nation, who is
Yes.
the pioneers for many countries to look upon the many solutions to resolve conflicts or other problems in any countries. Many people admiring him for that. And there is also a matter that Gandhi has advocated truth as the greater God than any religion. He believed that truth is the greatest God.
True.
Yes. He advocated for that, he believed that, and he lived through that. And he also believed that the youths are not just a passive participants of the states. He believed that the youths are the one who will try and achieve to shape the state. He believed that. However, there are, as we have seen in today's news, we have seen almost everywhere that there are problems. Regardless of Mahatma Gandhi's ideals and principles, there are still problems, conflicts, chaos, if I must say, chaos that are out there. We have to achieve that visions that Gandhi have shown to us. Yes. That is to be truthful. He wants us to put truth at the highest level of everything else. He does not tolerate lies. Even in many scriptures, there have been mentioned that truth is the greatest asset that a person could achieve in order to build a proper society. And there are many scriptures who abhors lies. Even if we're talking about any religions, they hated lies. They want truth because they realize that truth is the only way that we can move forward. And Gandhi also have adopted that principles in order to show it to everyone else in India. And subsequently, at the same time, he managed to show it to everyone else. We needed this kind of principles since the dawn of time, if we must say. But to tell the truth,
it's not how it is.
It's not how it is.
Just like you said, Fuling, the ground reality is very different from what we want. It's full of chaos, if we can use that word. And Gandhi, like you said, has always seen the youths as the future of the nation. And he also believed what we do today will actually have an impact for the future.
True.
Rhythm, we will turn maybe to the education aspect. You know, Gandhi has always believed that education should be available and free for all. Also, with the passage of time, as we know that everybody is, into education, we all want a degree, we all want to, feel that identity, by having a degree or something like that. What are your feelings on, having a validation for your identity through education? Because is it all that it takes to be someone, or being a gold medalist yourself? What are your views on that?
Interesting question, because the question is primarily about identity.
Exactly.
Identity formed through the tag of education.
True.
It appears to me that when at the from a surface level of analysis, when we talk about education, we all have an idea of what education is. However, and this is something philosophers tend to do, they take simple concepts that everyone knows, and then they analyze it, do surgical operations on it, and then you have things that are so far off from where you began. But I do believe, and I think Fuling Star would agree, that there is a certain utility in this kind of analysis. If we analyze education as a word, as what it means, we might find that education is tied with social structures and institutions. So let us give an thought experiment. Let's say there is an individual who has been homeschooled since a very early age. And then there's another individual who has been put into an reputed educational institution. Now the question is, if education is all that is defined by institutional boundaries, then surely this homeschool boy is not really educated. But, and this is something Napoleon Hill notes in his book Think and Grow Rich. He says that majority of the greatest minds that has ever lived were not individuals who were schooled or given education on the normative understanding of the word, but these were people who went beyond the norm, who went beyond the rat race. So when we talk about the scope of education, we might want to distinguish, and I think Gandhi would do this, being an idealist himself, between education that is being imparted upon you from an institution, which might or might not be education. During critical times in Chinese history, we saw how political institution educated their citizens on a very radical ideology. And this has been the case in numerous places, be it Germany, be it Stalin's Russia, be it Mao's China. This implies that if education is the concern, we might have to distinguish between true education, which you might even get if you're being homeschooled, and ideology being imparted upon you through nation states and bigger authorities. And I believe Gandhi, being the idealist he is, would always advocate for education of the soul and not education of the mind necessarily. Although with the education of the soul, the mind can be an addition. But if just the mind is concerned, you could radically brainwash an individual from birth into believing something drastically violent. So it all depends perhaps on what kind of education we are talking about.
Yeah. Apparently, I believe, just like you said, Gandhi would have prioritized the education of the soul, because eventually, if your soul is empty, even if you were educated, in the mind, it would have all been, so to say, a waste. We will also move on to the part where I believe Gandhi has it has always been close to his heart. The part where people should not be too materialistic. Whereas when we look from today's point of view, with the industrialization and so many decades that have gone by, a lot of things have changed. The needs have changed, people's needs have changed, people's wants have changed, and also with the influence of social media and so many other platforms like these influencers, content creators, a lot of things have changed, and somehow, like you said, it has brainwashed the youths of today, especially, where they feel like they need to have a luxurious lifestyle. They need to have materialistic things that will make them feel maybe in a position where they can feel identified. I want to maybe hear your views on that, because I believe Gandhi had a totally different perspective when it comes to that.
Yeah. Well, if we talk about that, I have to avoid being controversial, because these things that is going on around the world is mainly because it is propagated by the West. That has been shown for multiple reasons. Either they want to be rich, or they want money, or they want power. There are plenty of reasons for it, but we are going to try to avoid that. But however, if we look from the point of view of Gandhi, we have understood that since 60 years ago, he has mentioned to his followers that we should be practicing the principles of non-cooperation, and we shouldn't try to be self-reliance. Back then, in the colonial time, he wishes for everyone to not be too dependent on other things that were belong and were brought by the British. In those times, yes, we have many reasons. Even the British, they are trying to do that, to propagate us in such a way that we might forget our own root, our own traditional point of view. They're trying to achieve that slowly by using tactics, even if we have to say tactics from a business perspective. They're trying to do that. Why? They're trying to brainwash us with the different ideas that they're giving to us. They are brainwashing us so that we might forget our motherland, that we might forget our own tradition. And that Gandhi also tried to, I keep saying try because it hasn't been achieved. We are still depending on other countries for our lifestyle, for our way of thinking. We are still depending. So Gandhi tries to make us self-reliant. Back then, he is the first one to revolt about that materialistic lifestyle. He only wears white dress. Where did he get this white dress? Where did he get it? He made it himself. He is trying to be self-reliant only on our own countries, not from other countries. Because he understood that if we manage to overcome that, we might not be too dependent on it, right? So we have to be self-reliant so that we can try and move on to the next level so that we can actually improve ourselves. These ideas of relying on something else is, well, it is part of the scientific technology advancement, evolutions of our own humanities. But to some degree, we have to be aware that there are people who are trying to brainwash us, take control of us, and control us. If they manage to take control of us, we have no voice to say. We cannot express our own thought. So we have to be strong, self-reliant in a way that we can always listen to ourselves, listen to our own people, not on the viewpoints that has been given by others. Even Buddha has said to many of his followers that, look, do not believe. He is a great person, I would say. An enlightened one, he's a great person. He said to his followers that, do not believe this thing that I have told you because it is coming from me. Believe it because you have properly examined it with yourself, experienced it with yourself. He said that, those words. Even Gandhi is leaning towards that. We have to examine our own point of view, our own ideas, not just to depend on authority that we believe they are always right. We must be self-reliant in that sense and try to avoid the social media things that has been for a generation. It's going to be for the next generation also. There will always be people who will try to control us.
True.
Yeah, we know that.
So Rhythm, maybe you can add up to that, because like Fulling has just said, a lot of things have influenced us, has brainwashed us, has tried to change our perspectives of maybe our own ideologies. And because of that, a lot of things have become, so to say, just for the sake of it, just to show the world, very, very materialistic. Your views on that, with regards to the youth of today?
I have a certain point where I contend with Filling Star, where I deviate a little from your opinion.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure that, I mean, prior to this, we were talking about how political institutions, nation states, governments can impart a certain kind of education in the form, a certain kind of brainwashing in the form of education to the individual.
True.
I would differentiate this kind of brainwashing with the kind of brainwashing that ma'am you raised or Filling Star raised, which is, going on in the influencers circle in social media. I think that I'm not sure that there is it is not obvious to me that there are forces that be that are intentionally trying to culturally impart things, Western ideals, onto rest of the world. I would put it differently. I think the world is seeking the Western ideal by themselves. So unlike in situation A involving governments where they intentionally do it, this is a kind of brainwashing that is not really intentional. We use the word, you use the word chaos. It seems to me that if this is ordered brainwashing, this is chaotic brainwashing. It is a kind of brainwashing you're not sure where the spark started really. One person is doing it and suddenly every social influencer is starting to do it. So there's a disconnection between intention and action in this second scenario, which is not really the case in the first scenario, which is very intentional. Governments are quite deliberate when they brainwash you. But here we are not really sure which agent we are to hold accountable.
How it began and how it started. Because at the end of the day, when we look at it from a broader perspective, it seemed like, just like you said, we are the one who wants to get brainwashed in that way. Perhaps we cannot say how it started and maybe to what extent it might go. Since Fulling, you talked about Gandhi and his belief, where we should be stuck to our roots. Stuck to what where we are from, what we are really in as people, as Indians, so to say. Your views on today's youth when it comes to that, sticking to our own roots, so to say. I'll just give a very maybe rough example, a very simple example. The way we dress up today is so different. The Western again has influenced us in that way, where we feel more comfortable in pants.
Perhaps not you, but we certainly are living in the ghosts of the British.
So perhaps we'll just talk about a small example like that, where our food habits have changed. The coffee culture that is happening all around has influenced us so much, and we see now in Shillong itself there's so many cafeterias opening up, everything. So maybe the question arises, where are our roots? Maybe if we can have a little bit on that.
Well, look, there are two things. If we talk about influence, there are two things. First of all, if we're talking about the influence of the Western world about our dress, those are good influences, I would say. If we're talking about cafeteria, if we're talking about writing books, those are good example, good influence of the West. I would 100% agree with those. We have seen everywhere, and it's a good thing. I love pants. I wouldn't want to wear those dhoti, or I wouldn't want to wear those jumbo, our traditional dress. I wouldn't want to wear that.
It
However,
wouldn't be comfortable, I suppose.
Well, I have to be cautious though. Look, I have to be cautious. This pants is very comfortable for us. If we wear just jingbo, it's not going to be comfortable as it is today. However, suppose if we are left to our own devices, left to our own techniques of living, wouldn't we be comfortable in wearing those kind of things? We would be.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
If we were not being influenced by, I will stop saying Western, by other ideas. If we weren't being influenced by other ideas, we wouldn't know how comfortable pants are.
True.
Yes.
I think we would still be wearing janbo, dhotis. We would still be wearing, saris and salwar kameez.
And it would be fine.
We would be fine.
It would
we
be
would
fine.
still be fine.
Yes.
I suppose.
But still, these things that I'm wearing right now is very comfortable. I like it. It's very stylish.
Okay, Rhythm, maybe your take on that.
Yes. A subtle thing that I have noticed about, for me at least, why I would not wear dhoti over t-shirt or pant, and this is something that connects to Western culture. assuming that pants and shirts are the boons or products of the Western world, I would not feel secure enough in a dhoti because it would come off. I mean, from a youth's modern Gen Z's perspective, that is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, we would think that. Yes.
Yeah, so I won't feel, protected enough if I wear a dhoti.
Okay.
But then again, it would mean that somehow the Western culture, if this comes from the West, much before I was even born, it would mean that the West as a society are not really very secure people because they want to cover themselves up as to the best of their abilities. Now, this is a subtle part, but it shows that there is a collective psychology hidden deeply, veiled behind the clothes that we wear, taken from their culture. And this is not. This is not a demerit of Western culture. I'm not putting it in a negative light. It is just a unique way in which Western culture manifests. I'm sure dhoti itself would also have a very beautiful philosophy behind it.
Yeah, true.
So I'm not putting values above each other. I'm just saying different values emerge when you, as a philosopher, we do this thing, right? Jump into the surface and find this.
Look, Rhythm. I don't know if you have wore dhoti, but I have. I have wore dhoti when we were going for that study tour in Tamil Nadu. I did wear, and it's very tight. It's very safe. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay.
It's very tight, and I can walk with it.
I'll take your word.
I can jump with it. I can talk to people with it.
It's just that I suppose we are not used to that.
We're not
used.
Yes.
So in that way, if we think from that part, it would definitely feel a huge discomfort. But I believe like Fuling said, had we did not had the experience of all of this, we would still be so comfortable in our own roots, the way we dress, the way we eat, and everything. Well, with that, we've come to the end of our today's program. But on that note, we would also like you to share your messages for our viewers, especially for the youths of today. We'll start with you, Rhythm.
The world keeps on moving forward, and the changes that it brings are often not under our control. We will find when we look at the world that often we are too small at the face of it. In the wake of a hurricane, we cannot survive. However, perhaps what can survive is what is internal to it. So even if you're in the midst of a hurricane, maybe the strength is not in the physicality of surviving it, but instead the mentality that makes you stand in the face of it. That is my message to me, because I am part of the youth, and to rest of the world.
Maybe Fuling, from your end, a short message for our viewers.
Well, imagine India, where dialogues is possible without raising conflict or bloodshed. Imagine India, where justice is properly and adequately given to everyone. And imagine where we could share our own opinion, where we could say what we have in our own thoughts, where we could properly express our thought without fear from other people, from other countries. That is the visions of Gandhi. We have a chance. I am a youth. I am a student. And many of you are a student and a youth. You are part of this. We have to raise our own voice and fight with what we have, with what we have been given. Use truth as your tool to achieve what is justice and rightful ours. This is my message to every one of you who is watching us, and especially to the youth of India.
Thank you so much to both of you. We had a very beautiful discussion today. We believe that this half-an-hour program of ours will definitely send a strong message, especially for the youths of today. We wish you both all the very best for your future endeavors, and may
Thank
you
you.
continue to grow in your studies and the doctorates that you are aiming to pursue.
Sure.
And so all the best, and on behalf of TTK Meghalaya, we thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sweet.
Well, dear friends, you heard these two young boys with their beautiful opinions and views on Gandhian ideals and the relevance of it on today's youth. Yes, the world has changed definitely, and it has influence in a lot more way, by other aspects of life and industrialization and things like that. And today things are so different from what it used to be decades back, but we can bring a better change, and we can make the world better by doing a lot more things, and maybe by following few of Gandhian ideals. So viewers, that's all we have for today. Until we meet again, goodbye.